Chosen ones, Tuesday marks the start of God's unstoppable move. Chosen ones, the moment you have felt pressing upon your spirit is here. Heaven's clock has struck, and the divine announcement has been made. This Tuesday is not an ordinary day. It is the day when God's unstoppable move breaks into your life like a rushing tide. Every prayer you whispered in the dark, every tear that watered the soil of your faith, every season where silence felt like abandonment, was in fact preparation for this appointed hour. You stand at the threshold of something irreversible, something that will not be delayed, denied, or diminished. God has set his hand to work, and no power in heaven, on earth, or beneath the earth can halt what he has begun. This is not the season for fear, it is the season for readiness, for the heavens are about to open, and the move you've been waiting for will overtake you. The inner shift precedes the outer move. Chosen ones, understand this unshakable truth. Before God moves in your world, he moves in you. Long before Tuesday's dawn will paint the sky, a quiet shift has already begun within the chambers of your spirit. This is the mystery the world does not grasp, that the visible is only the shadow of the invisible, and every great work of God in your life begins in the unseen realm of the mind and heart. You have felt it for weeks, maybe months, a restlessness you could not explain, an inner quickening that seemed to whisper, prepare yourself. Something is coming. That was no accident. It was the seed of God's unstoppable move being planted deep inside you. The world thinks change happens from the outside in, that events must alter before feelings can follow, but the children of light know that heaven always works from the inside out. Your belief, your expectation, your refusal to let go of the vision even when the evidence was absent, these were not mere acts of hope. They were the foundation upon which the new chapter is being built. Every thought you held in faith was a brick in the unseen structure of your destiny. Every time you refused to speak defeat, you watered the roots of this coming miracle. Your inner conversations, those moments when you dared to imagine what God promised you, have shaped the outer reality you are about to walk into. This is why the enemy tried so fiercely to keep your mind cluttered, your heart heavy, and your vision blurred, because he knows that the moment you shift inside, the outside has no choice but to follow. Look at your journey. Think of the nights when you were tempted to believe nothing was happening. You did not see angels rearranging circumstances. You did not hear the whisper of heaven aligning your steps, but the shift within you was the very sign that the move had already begun. You began to notice a new boldness in your prayers, a quiet peace replacing anxiety, a growing conviction that what you have asked for is already yours. That is the evidence that change was first secured in the spirit, and now Tuesday marks the unveiling of what has long been prepared. The world may think it begins then, but you know better. It began the moment your heart said yes in faith. It began when you aligned your thoughts with God's thoughts and refused to speak against what you believed. It began when you stopped praying as if you were begging and started speaking as if it was done. This is the rhythm of heaven, conception within, then manifestation without. The outer move is nothing more than the echo of the inner shift. Even now, as you stand here, the power of this truth should anchor you in unshakable confidence. You do not need to chase the blessing. You only need to stay in the posture that birthed it within you. Keep your mind fixed on the vision. Keep your spirit in agreement with what God has promised, and watch as everything outside bends to match what has been settled inside. This is why no one can stop what is coming on Tuesday, because it was not conceived in the mind of man. It was born in the heart of God and received by the faith in you. When that union takes place, the outcome is inevitable. So stand still in your assurance. Let this understanding take root. The shift inside you is the proof that the outer move is already in motion, and when you see it break forth, when doors swing open, when favor floods in, when prayers are answered in ways that leave you breathless, you will not be surprised. You will simply smile and say, I knew it was coming because it had already happened in me. The appointed time cannot be delayed. Chosen ones, when God marks a moment in eternity, no force in heaven, on earth, or beneath the earth can delay it. Tuesday is not simply a date on the calendar. It is the manifestation of a decree that has already been spoken in the courts of heaven. The moment was set before you were even born, and everything you have walked through, every trial, every closed door, every delay that felt like denial, has been leading you toward this appointed hour. You may have felt the sting of waiting frustration of watching others step into their breakthroughs while yours seemed postponed, but you must understand, what God has ordained cannot arrive early, and it cannot arrive late. It comes precisely when the fullness of time has matured, when every piece is in its place, and every unseen preparation is complete. The waiting was never a punishment, it was the stage being set so that when the curtain rises, everything will be aligned for the glory to be revealed. Think of the farmer who plants the seed. He cannot rush the harvest. The seed must die, break open, and push through soil in its own season. You have been in the hidden soil, and it has felt dark, but life has been swelling within you. The moment you step into on Tuesday is not a random blessing. It is the birthing of what has been maturing in silence. This is why no enemy could destroy you, no betrayal could break you, and no setback could bury you permanently. They were all powerless against the timing of God. If the breakthrough had come too soon, you might not have had the wisdom to carry it. Too late, and the opportunity would have passed. But the author of time himself has chosen this precise moment. Every clock on earth is irrelevant when heaven strikes the hour. The universe itself bends toward the fulfillment of his word, and all creation conspires to bring about what he has spoken over you. This is why you must stop fearing delays. What belongs to you cannot be lost, and what is assigned to you cannot be given to another. Even when it seemed like everything was against you, the delay was actually the divine safeguard, keeping you from a premature arrival that could have crushed you. On Tuesday, you will see why certain doors stayed shut, why certain people had to leave, why certain opportunities slipped through your hands. God was not withholding good from you, he was preserving the best for you. The appointed time is a holy thing. It carries a force that no man can resist. When it arrives, doors open without knocking, chains fall without struggle, and blessings chase you down without you having to strive for them. You will walk into rooms where your name was already spoken before you entered, into positions that were prepared before you applied, into favor that was written into your story long before you knew it existed. And when you step into it, it will feel both new and familiar, because your spirit has already been living in this reality in faith. That is the mystery of the appointed time. It is both a surprise and a confirmation, a moment that takes your breath away yet feels like home. So as you stand on the edge of Tuesday, silence every doubt. Do not look at the natural and say, I don't see how. The how is not your concern. The when has already been decided, and it is now. The unstoppable move of God is not dependent on the cooperation of man, the economy, or the approval of anyone in power. It is dependent only on the word he has spoken and the faith you have carried, and because his word never returns void, the appointed time has arrived like the rising of the sun. It cannot be stopped, it cannot be delayed, it cannot be hidden. Get ready to step into what was always yours, for Tuesday is the day when heaven's schedule and your earthly path collide, and nothing will ever be the same. The invisible hand has been working all along, chosen ones. You must know this. Just because you could not see movement does not mean nothing was happening. For the longest time, you may have walked through days and nights where it seemed heaven was silent, where prayers felt like they were hitting a closed ceiling, where the promises you carried in your heart seemed as far away as ever. But do not be deceived by what your natural eyes could not see, for all along the invisible hand of God was at work, moving in realms you could not enter, shifting pieces you did not even know existed, orchestrating connections you could never have arranged yourself. This is the hidden work of the Almighty. He does his greatest building in silence. Think of a seed beneath the soil. It looks as though nothing is happening, yet in that darkness life is forming, roots are digging deep, and strength is being established for the day it will break through. That has been your story. The delay you thought was abandonment was actually construction. The quiet season you thought was stagnation was divine preparation. While you were waiting, angels were assigned, hearts were softened, doors were positioned, and obstacles were dismantled. You may not have seen the signatures being placed on documents that will favor you, the conversations in closed rooms where your name was spoken in honor, the spiritual battles fought on your behalf in the unseen realm, but rest assured, God's invisible hand has never been idle. The fact that you survived seasons that should have destroyed you is evidence enough. You think you made it because of your strength, but it was the hidden hand that shielded you when arrows were flying, that opened a way when walls were closing in, that whispered to people to help you when they didn't even know why. This is why Tuesday will not just be a day of change, it will be the unveiling of the work that has been in progress for far longer than you realize. You will suddenly walk into opportunities that seem to appear overnight, but the truth is they have been years in the making. You will meet people who feel like divine appointments, but they have been on your path since before you prayed for them. You will find resources flowing to you from unexpected sources, yet they have been stored up for such a time as this. That is the way God works. He allows the roots to grow unseen so that when the fruit appears, it will be lasting. This is why you cannot judge your future by the silence of your past season. If you only knew how many attacks were stopped before they reached you, how many betrayals were exposed before they could harm you, how many times God rearranged entire circumstances just to keep you on track, you would weep in gratitude. And when Tuesday comes and his unstoppable move breaks into the open, you will see the signature of that invisible hand on everything. You will realize that even your detours were divine routes, even your delays were perfectly timed pauses, and even your heartbreaks were redirections toward better promises. The invisible hand is never in a hurry, yet it is never late. It moves with precision, weaving together what you thought were disconnected threads into a tapestry so perfect you will wonder how you ever doubted. And here is the truth you must carry into the days ahead. Just because you cannot see God working does not mean he isn't. The silence is not absence. The stillness is not inactivity. If anything, the quieter it gets, the more you can be certain something is being built. And when it is ready, it will not trickle in. It will flood your life with such force that you will know without question this was not random luck. This was the hand of God, steady, skillful, and unstoppable, working all along for your good. Your faith is the conductor of the miracle chosen ones. Here this God's unstoppable move does not arrive by accident. It is drawn to the heart that believes without proof, the soul that clings to the promise when the evidence says otherwise. Your faith has been the unseen conductor, the magnetic force pulling the miracle from the realm of the invisible into the realm of the visible. This is why the battles against your mind have been so fierce, because the enemy knows that if he can kill your faith, he can stop your manifestation. Yet here you are, still believing, still speaking life over situations that look dead, still holding the vision in your heart when others have long let theirs die. That faith is not weakness, it is the strongest signal in the spiritual realm, and heaven responds to it. The miracle coming on Tuesday is not random. It has been in motion since the day you dared to believe. Every time you prayed and didn't give up, you were sending out a frequency that called the blessing toward you. Every time you thanked God in advance, you were building a bridge for the promise to cross into your life. Faith is not simply believing God can. It is knowing he will and acting as though it has already been done. This is why you could walk through storms with a strange peace. It's why you could endure ridicule without bitterness. It's why you could keep moving forward when logic said to quit. Your faith anchored you in a reality that hadn't yet shown itself, and that is why it will now show itself in unstoppable power. On Tuesday, when the shift happens, the world will think it happened suddenly, but you will know it was years in the making, because every moment of faith was another thread woven into the fabric of your miracle. Supernatural responds to faith the way a seed responds to water. Without it, nothing grows. With it, the harvest is inevitable. And make no mistake, faith is not a feeling. It is a decision you've made over and over, even when fear tried to drown your thoughts. There were moments you could not see how it would happen, moments when doors slammed in your face, moments when resources were scarce, yet you spoke as though the answer was already in hand. That was the conductor at work. Your words shaped the atmosphere, your gratitude aligned the currents, your persistence kept the flow from being interrupted. This is why God has preserved you, because faith does not just move mountains, it reshapes the land around them. And when this miracle breaks forth, it will not only be for you, it will ripple out to those connected to you. Your testimony will ignite the faith of others, and the move of God in your life will become a spark for theirs. The same way you have been calling this blessing in, others will begin to call theirs in after hearing what he did for you. Faith multiplies. Once released, it keeps creating. And here's the deeper truth. Even in the moments you felt your faith falter, it was never extinguished. The smallest spark of belief in you was enough for God to work with. He did not require perfection, only your agreement, and you agreed again and again that what he said was true, even when you did not yet see it. Now the manifestation is unavoidable on Tuesday. You will watch your faith materialize before your eyes, and you will know that every tear, every prayer, every declaration was worth it. This will be more than answered prayer. It will be proof that faith is the true conductor of miracles, and that once it is released, nothing and no one can stop it. The delivery, the move will multiply its effect, chosen ones. What God is about to release on Tuesday is not a single blessing. It is a chain reaction. When his unstoppable move breaks into your life, it will not come as an isolated event that touches one area and leaves the rest unchanged. No, it will ripple, multiply, and overflow into places you did not even pray for. You must understand that when God moves, he does not move in fragments. He moves in fullness. The breakthrough you are about to see is not a seed. It is a harvest, and harvests produce more seeds. One answered prayer will set in motion a series of divine alignments that will unlock doors you didn't even know were there. You may think the miracle coming is for your finances, but it will also heal your relationships, restore your joy, and strengthen your health. You may believe it is for your career, but it will also touch your family, increase your influence, and open spiritual authority over territories you once thought were closed to you. This is the nature of God's move. He never does just enough. His blessings carry momentum. Like a stone cast into still water, the impact sends waves far beyond the point of contact. That is why the enemy fought so hard to keep this move from happening, because he knows once it begins, he cannot contain it. What starts on Tuesday will not stop there. It will keep unfolding in the weeks, months, and years to come. And here is the beauty of it. The multiplication will not require the same effort from you that the initial breakthrough required. Just as a harvest multiplies on its own once planted, the effects of God's move will continue to bear fruit without you having to strive. This is where the divine acceleration comes in. What took you years to accomplish before will begin to happen in days. Opportunities will start finding you instead of you chasing them. People will begin seeking your counsel, your skills, your presence, not because you promoted yourself, but because God's favor on your life will speak louder than any introduction. And this overflow will not just be for your benefit. The move will make you a conduit of blessing to others. You will find yourself positioned to help people in ways you could never have imagined before, funding their dreams, opening doors for them, speaking life into their dead situations. This is multiplication with purpose. God does not bless you to hoard. He blesses you to pour out, knowing that the more you pour, the more he will refill. This is why you must be ready, not only to receive, but to release. Your testimony will multiply faith in others. Your breakthrough will multiply hope in those who are still in the waiting. Your overflow will multiply provision in the lives of those connected to you. And all of this begins with the move on Tuesday. When it hits, don't try to contain it. Let it spread. Share the story, give generously, step into the new assignments he will place before you, for this is the season where your life will become living proof that God's goodness is not limited to one area, one blessing, or one moment. It is limitless, expanding, and ever increasing. You will look back months from now and realize that the blessing you thought was the destination was actually the launch point. The move will keep unfolding in layers, each one revealing a greater depth of his plan for you, and the best part, the multiplication will carry an ease you have never known before. What once felt like uphill battles will now feel like open highways. The strain will be replaced by flow, the scarcity by abundance, the fear by confidence. This is the reward for your endurance, your faith, and your obedience in seasons when it would have been easier to quit. On Tuesday, the unstoppable move of God begins, but it will not end. It will multiply, overtake, and overflow until your life becomes a testimony of just how far one move of God can reach.